Okay. Welcome to our webinar. This is, one of the sessions we did for Nebraska World Language Week in 2025. And also this is a guest speaker series hosted by NDE, Nebraska World Language, Nebraska Department of Education World Language. In NILA, Nebraska Language Association, and also CLTA, Chinese Language Teacher Association, Special Interest Group K-12. Today we have Dr. Teresa Catalano from University of Nebraska at Lincoln. And she's going to talk about art-based approaches to world language teaching. I'm so excited. And now, Teresa, please take it away. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I could hear somebody's sound. I don't know if you know, but make sure your microphone is muted, everybody. That way everybody can hear. Welcome so much, everybody. I see seems like a lot of Chinese teachers here, and a few of my students are here. So I'm very excited to see you. I'm so honored to be able to give this workshop for everybody, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is my agenda for today. I'm just going to start with getting to know each of us just a little bit and why we're here. And then I'm going to talk about aesthetic education and how it relates to arts-based approaches to education. Why is it valuable for world language? And I'm going to give 2 examples, and I'm going to have you be participating in those examples together. Hopefully, Crystal can help me with breakout groups if we'll see how many participants we have. And then hopefully we'll have some time to talk about some of your ideas. I would love to hear your ideas, and then we'll wrap up. So we're going to play a game called Who is Teresa? Woo! All right, so I just have a few questions, and let's see how you do. What languages have I taught? A, Spanish and Italian. Notice I'm reading music. B, Spanish and English. C, Turkish and Spanish. Or D, Spanish, Italian, and English. Would you put into chat your guess? A, B, C, or D? Any guesses so far? Some more people? My students already know this, so they're cheating. Okay, if you said D, you get a gold star. Well done. Let's go to the next question. What does her research focus on? A, multilingual learners. B, arts and aesthetic education. C, A and B, and language prep. And D, history of calculus.
Everyone is beautiful.
Drop it into chat, everybody.
Everyone is beautiful.
Nobody thinks D. I don't look like a calculus teacher.
Everyone is beautiful.
Yes, good job. All right, most of you, A is correct, but also C. So if you chose C, you get a virtual hug from Chris Hemsworth and his koala. Oh, so cute. Okay, next one is, why is she qualified to teach about art education? Well, A, she's incorporated the arts in her teaching for years. B, she wrote a book about it. C, she teaches a graduate course on the arts and multilingual learners. Or D, she is a famous artist. Oh, that's weird. It says I entered the waiting room. Okay, I'm going to admit myself, but should I admit myself, Crystal?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just shared. One of the teacher cannot find the link. I just shared your link. I'm sorry.
Okay. I see some guesses of C. Yes, that is correct, but also A is correct. Actually, if you picked A, B, or C, Beyonce says, well done. Good job. A, B, or C was actually correct. I think I can't remember what D was, but that one was not. So final question, I think, why am I here today? A, Crystal forced me to. B, she is an academic and she does not have a social life. C, she loves to work with world language teachers. Or D, all of the above. Any guesses? Nobody picks A because you're too nice, and you know Crystal would never do that, right? Oh, Crystal picked A. Yes. Yes, the answer is actually B and C. I do not have a social life. And yes, I love to work with world language teachers. So you win the superhero award. Good job, everybody. Now I want to know about you. So could you tell me a little bit about yourself in the chat? What language do you teach? So give me your name. Just your first name is fine. What language you teach? Why are you here today? You want to tell me anything, the school, where you're at, and anything else you want us to know? Go ahead and put that in chat for us. Yeah, so some of you, you're saying Chinese, but where do you teach? Can you tell me the city where you're located? That would be helpful. Aha, school city of Hammond. Okay, Indiana. Wow. This is such a national group. Chinese and ESL. Yes, and I have some future teachers in the audience as well. So thank you for pointing that out, Jaden. Minneapolis. Okay. We've got German. So far we have German, Chinese, Mandarin. Also, we have somebody who's going to teach Japanese. Oh my goodness, Zoda. Zoda Tamandati's here. Whoa. Yay, Zoda. So glad you could make it. Okay, this is really helpful for me to know. So I kind of know the languages that you all have, and there's quite a lot of different languages here today. So fantastic. We'll think about how you might do some of these things in your own language. Okay, so now I'm just going to spend a minute talking about aesthetic education so that you understand what that means. John Dewey viewed aesthetic experiences such as those that incorporate the arts as a way to enhance perception and intensify aspects of life to make them more meaningful. In aesthetic play, the ordinary becomes noteworthy, and one begins to undergo new ways of seeing, hearing, feeling, and moving. Well-conceived aesthetic experiences can arouse curiosity in children, encourage exploration, indirectly forming the basis for concern for nature, social awareness, and cultural identity. Aesthetic education should be about facilitating a heightened awareness of and appreciation for our lives, our environment, and the people in them, and helping people perceive and appreciate beautiful things, which allows them to grow into global citizens. So through arts-based approaches, so lots of different kinds of uses of the arts could be considered aesthetic education, and that's what I'll talk about today. But through this type of education, we can shape and seek meaning from our lived experiences. The arts, why are they valuable in language learning settings? Well, I believe that they have an incredible value, especially for world language settings, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm sure some of you already know this, so I'm anxious to hear what you think. But some of the reasons I think it's valuable is that they help with memory, they make learning fun. So 2 years ago, I studied Korean in Korea, and I had the hardest time trying to remember all the new words. And when I learned to count, I used this song, and it helped me so much. And I just want to show you how powerful these kinds of things are for your memory. And they also make it fun. This woman is crazy, but she is so much fun. Let me just play a little bit of the song for you. Okay. Oops, let me start from the beginning. Here we go.
둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열.
little faster, everybody try it.
좀 더 빠르게 해볼까요? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열.
Okay, so you get the idea. That's how I learned how to count in Korean, and still to this day, I have to sing the song to remember it. So that's just one way. Also, the arts can create spaces for dialogue about issues that are relevant to the students that can use their life experiences create art, and then talk about it in the target language. In the left picture here, the students created dishes that reminded them, that represented a famous woman in their target language. And then they talked to each other about what was on their plate, what they had put on the dish. This was modeled after Judy Chicago's famous art exhibit. On the right, the students had created a collage and they talked to each other about it. So you can use art as a way to get students to talk to each other because they're much more invested in it once they've created the art themselves. Arts can be used to build intellectual, social, emotional, and sensory connections with people, which in turn lead them to want to know more. So I had a class, a doctoral class, and we studied the arts. And as part of our final project, I had the students create an 80s video. We dressed up like the 1980s, and we created the video to show what we had learned in the class. So you can use video projects so that students can present their learning together. But also it's a creative project, so they have a lot of fun with it. And they build these connections to people because of that. You can see how close of a group we were. Also, the arts can lead to discovery about ourselves and our identities. They provide opportunities for students to practice language in low-stakes environments. And they help us see other perspectives and develop critical consciousness. Critical consciousness is about helping students understand injustices in their target language country and compare that to their own countries, and then figure out ways to advocate to make social change, to do better in the world. And so I want to just give you an example. The first example would be for upper level classes or for heritage speakers. I use drama-based approaches to develop critical consciousness, and what I've done is use forum theater. Forum theater is based on Augusto Boal's work, which is also influenced by Freire's work. And in forum theater, what happens is students act out these critical incidents. They come up, they discuss together something that happened to each other and that they didn't resolve in a way that they felt comfortable with. They were unsatisfied. I don't know if any of you have ever had a microaggression or somebody say something to you like, why don't you go home to your country? Or, during the pandemic, there were a lot of things like that that happen. But when someone says it to us, we're caught off guard. We don't know what to say, right? We don't respond right, and we feel bad about it. So in forum theater, we act those things out together, and then we ask the audience, can you help us? What should we say the next time somebody says something like that to us? Like speak English, this is America. What should we say? And so the students in the audience then give us ideas and we practice it together. And that's how we develop critical consciousness, because we're aware of, why are those things wrong to say to each other? But also, what is the language? How do we help each other respond the next time so we can feel better about it, so we can speak back? Yeah. So since today it's a little difficult online to do forum theater, and I need about 2 hours to do it, we're going to do something different, which is skits. So for skits, usually what I do is, I might have a reading or a listening or some kind of book that we're reading, a video, and we had an expression in the video or in the reading that is an idiomatic expression that's a little bit difficult for students to understand how to use it. How many of you know what the expression scoot over means? Is there anybody that doesn't know? Put that in chat for me if you're not sure what that means. I can't tell because I can't see everybody's face. I do not know. Okay, so I knew a couple of you might not know. Is there anybody here that wants to explain what that means? Just shout it out. What does it mean to say scoot over?
Move over, move
Yes.
out of the way.
Exactly. So I had a friend once, she came from Israel, and she said that her students got on the bus and nobody would make room for them. And she said they kept saying, could you move? Could you move? But apparently they needed to say scoot over. And these were kids and they had to learn that expression. So what I might do if I were creating a skit is I would say, okay, I want you to use the expression scoot over, create a little dialogue, just a couple minutes with your group, and then present it to the class. Okay. And so I would do this for a few minutes every time we start class. And it only takes about 10 minutes. They spend time, they can use Google Translate, they can use anything they need to help them, but they're creatively producing dialogue in the target language. And that is when you can really tell whether they understand the expression or not. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to divide you up. Let's say we have 14 participants. So let's say, let's have, if we had 4 rooms, let's do 4 rooms. Can I do that, Crystal, or do you need to? It says I could do it. Is it okay if I just do it? I'm going to divide you up randomly. And what I want you to do in your room, you're going to have 10 minutes. Think of, what is an expression in one of your languages that you would like them to learn? And if you have a group where you have different languages and you don't know each other's languages, then you could just do it in English. That's okay. All right. And just come up with a couple sentences, just a little short dialogue, and then we'll have you perform it for the group when you come back. Okay. So the dialogue should just be using that expression in a real situation. Okay. So you have to pick the expression you want and then practice what you're going to say together with just a couple sentences at most. Any questions before I put you out in breakout groups? I want you to try it because it's important when you're doing arts-based things. You got to try it. Otherwise, you don't know what it's like for your students. Okay, I'm going to do 4 breakout rooms, create automatically. And enjoy. You've got about 10 minutes. Just got one more. Crystal, if you want to, do you understand what to do? Because I was going to say, I'll go to rooms 1 and 2. If you can peek and check up in rooms 3 and 4 to make sure they're okay. Okay. Hi, is this Li Ping? Li Ping Meng, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm sorry, everybody's in a breakout room. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in a breakout
Oh,
room with the Chinese
oh,
teachers. They're
yeah,
doing
I thought okay.
no worries. Since you
Yeah.
came late, I just saw that you were there. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna add you
Oh,
to
yeah.
room one, okay?
Yeah, I just came home. We had the flash program. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Do you
Okay,
see the
thank you.
invitation?
Yes, I
Okay,
joined
go
room
ahead
one.
and join, and I'm sure they're
Okay,
happy to let you in the skit.
sure. Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and share our amazing skits. We're going to start with Jaden's group. They're ready to go. And maybe someone from Jaden's group can just put in the chat, what is the expression that you're going to be acting out? That would be very good. And then just go ahead and unmute yourselves when you're ready.
Okay, we'll start. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Crystal. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
What are you guys doing this weekend?
Well, I have a lot of homework and work, so I'm hoping everything will run smoothly today.
好，时间到了，我们 share 我现在
And I will need to facilitate a whole day PD, and then I will teach a whole day PD. It's a lot going on.
Wow, you guys have a lot going on. I really don't have much going on this week, but good luck with everything.
Whoa, good luck. That phrase brings me bad luck. I need to knock on some wood real quick.
Oh, where's the wood? Where's the wood? Can anybody help me find some wood?
The end.
Yay! Fantastic. Everybody put in chat if you don't know what knock on wood means. What do you think it means after seeing their skit? Why do they knock on wood? Anybody want to guess?
Hope nothing bad is happening.
Exactly. Superstition. Beautiful. Great expression to choose. Fantastic example of what a skit would look like. Very quickly done. All right, let's go to another group. Who do we have? How about Jin Yu's group? I think that was the one that's going to be in Chinese. And perhaps you could just have somebody put in the chat what it's going to, what you're going to do in English so that we can follow you as you present it in Chinese. Is that right? Ye Sun, Li Ping Meng, Jin Hu Yu.
Yeah, I can talk about that. This is a skit about tonight is a Lantern Festival, so we have 3 keywords. 看花灯、猜灯谜、吃汤圆. So there are 3 activities which involve this festival. It's number 1, enjoying the lanterns on the street. The second one, each lantern or many lanterns have riddles in there, so people just guess what's going on, and then if they guess out, they get a small prize for that. And the third one is 吃汤圆, which is a food related. It's kind of a rice ball with a sweet or salty ingredients in there. So it's a conversation developed on this one. So we'll just talk about how to make the skit, and then time is up. So if this conversation carries on, it would be happening among friends and with street vendors. For example, 2 friends are going out, and then they say, "Hey, we are going." I'm going to say that in English. We are going to enjoy the Lantern Festival, okay? And let's go. And why there are so many lanterns? Because it's the festival, right? And why there's a riddles? Because it is a tradition, right? It's just tradition that we are. And let's get some riddles. And after that, oh, we are hungry, so let's find something to eat. Now, what is that shape of the, the round rice ball look, white and colorful things? And then they're talking, oh, why it is round? Because the moon is a full moon, it's round. And it's sweet or salty inside because it's a tradition. People want to be reunion with their loved ones. And then it is also considered as Chinese Valentine's Day to, the available bachelors of girls and boys, they may check on each other and then find a good partner of life. So this is a kind of a conversation involved with culture and 3 basic vocabulary. Plus, it's a kind of verbal phrases like guess the riddles, see the lanterns, and then eat the rice
Sweet
ball.
dumplings. Sweet
Yeah,
dumplings.
sweet
So
ball.
I put in the chat.
Thank you so much. I can see that. Everybody, you can see the Chinese characters there as well. That's super helpful. And really fantastic cultural information that they would be acting out as well. So I love that. I think if you're going to have them do something that's a little bit longer, sometimes in those cases, it would be good to scaffold it, give them some possible, sentences too, that they would fill in some of the words, teach them the words for the dumplings and all of that. But my idea of the skits is usually when they have some basic structure of how to make a sentence already, then they can use Google Translate to help them with some of the words. But in your case, you would need to scaffold that. So yeah, well done. I love that. Let's go to Jason's group, Nina and May.
Yep.
What do you have?
Do you just want us to type the phrase real quick?
Yeah, put the phrase in the chat and then just do your skit.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. Good choice. Yes.
Right. Where's May at? Oh, there. Hi. Hi, May. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. Not under the weather.
Nina, how are you feeling?
Under the weather.
I hope you feel better. Make sure to drink some tea.
Okay.
All right. That's it.
I love it. Short and sweet. So does everybody understand what does it mean to be under the weather?
Not
Feeling a
feeling
little
well.
bit sick. Yeah. A little bit sick, but not super sick, right? Yes. That's a great idiomatic expression. And you can find out if students know how to use it well, because when they do their skit, sometimes they'll use the wrong preposition, they'll use it in the wrong context. So that's how you can really help with grammar. When you see them do the skit, you can catch what they don't understand about how to use it. That's what I love about it. And you can fix those things right when it happens. All right, let's get the final group. Did we have Zoda's group yet with Hangshin and Junmei? Is that right?
Oh, hi. The word we choose is I am cooked.
I am cooked.
Yeah. Well, so hi, hello everyone. I had a very bad day yesterday. I just had the test. It was not good at all. I feel I'm actually cooked.
Yeah, and we just complain. So even when the student when they play ping pong and they always yell at with a sentence, "Oh, I'm cooked. I'm cooked."
That's great. That slang expressions are really good for your students to learn too. Teaching them the language of youth, language that students their age might use. That's really great. I love that. I love the expression. It made me think of put a fork in me, I'm done. That's another one. That's funny. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, did we get everybody? I think, is there any group we didn't get? All right, great job. And you can see how quickly we were able to do that. So now I just want you to think a second. What does the dramatic recreation of events, actually that one, ignore the first question, but because that was about forum theater. Sorry. How did the activity encourage interaction in the partner languages? And how do we teach grammar or vocabulary through using a skit? If you have an answer, you can either just put it in chat or you can raise your hand and I'll call on you. So these bottom two questions, how did the activity encourage interaction? And how do these activities teach grammar or vocabulary? If anybody wants to volunteer, raise your hand, or otherwise, yeah. So Jason, it gives real context and meaning for vocab outside of a direct translation. Exactly. And I'll tell you, there's something about putting it on your body, doing it, acting it out that's different than just explaining it or just reading it yourself, right? So thank you, Jason. You're exactly right. Anybody want to add anything else? I mean, I think I did talk to you about how it teaches grammar. And it's pretty obvious how it teaches vocabulary. Yeah, performance-based learning, absolutely. Yeah, because you're actually doing the task. You're performing the expression, and so you're gonna remember it much better. That's the really cool thing. There's an emotional connection, and there's a memory connection when you do it with the arts. Fantastic. Okay, so is there anybody, when I say translanguaging, is there anybody that doesn't know what that means? Put that in chat if you don't know what that means. I just want to make sure everybody understands that expression. Maybe nobody wants to say they don't understand. But yeah, good. Thank you, Jerry. And Jerry, you're going to learn a lot about that next year in methods class. But translanguaging is basically just valuing the languages of your students and giving them the opportunity to mix all of the languages they know in certain spaces in your classroom, right? So even if I'm teaching, let's say I'm teaching Japanese, Jerry, but you have students that speak Chinese at home, right? So translanguaging might be when I say, hey, how do you say this in Chinese? You know, how do you say this Japanese expression in Chinese? We already all do it with English, right? With our students in the United States, we say, how do you say this in English, right? But a lot of our students speak other languages at home. I've been in Chinese classes recently that have Vietnamese speakers in their class, but the teacher doesn't ever say, hey, how do you say that in Vietnamese, right? That helps them tap into their other languages. Another way is when you have creative spaces like the arts, you can have them create things and mix in their own languages as well, right? So that they can show that's part of who they are. They're a multilingual identity, right? So I'm going to give you an example of how these girls do it, these young kids or youth, adolescents, I should say, because one of them's a guy, how they do slam poetry. And slam poetry is kind of a way of performing poetry, but at the same time, she's mixing in her language of Spanish. So see if you can follow that. If you don't understand everything, it's because part of it she's saying in Spanish, but you'll be able to still understand because she says other things. So I want you to see how this is done. Here we go. And it's very emotional, I'll tell you right away. I cry every time I watch this.
At the end of the day, when there is no work left to do,
when exhaustion is all that our legs can feel.
Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry. There we go. One more time. Sorry about that.
At the end of the day, when there is no work left to do,
when exhaustion is all that our legs can feel, we all want to get home.
But where do we go when home tells us to leave?
My grandma once told me, nunca olvides cuál es tu verdadera casa.
Never forget where your true home is.
Grandma, I'm not in the place that saw me grow,
but I will never dust my country's dirt off my shoulders.
She always reminds me where I come from. I come from trajes típicos, from frijoles y tortillas hechas a mano,
from brown skin and thick accents.
I tell grandma I'm not welcome in my new home.
Refugees!
When mi gente finds a way to keep their families stable, they label us
dirty immigrants!
We did not want to leave, we did not want to run.
Asylum seekers!
But the alternative is watching your 3-year-old neighbor selling chicles next to El Mercado Negro, afraid to wake up with guns at our heads telling us,
give me your money! Is that all you got? They blame us for taking away jobs that no one wants, for risking our lives to make theirs more convenient.
I'm going to stop there. But you can see, you know, the emotional content of these kinds of things. But also when students create their own poems, you know, they're drawing on their lives and their experiences. And they can use, you know, what they know of the language. They can make these as simple or as complicated, you know, as their level is, right? They can be quite simple and repetitive, but still expressing something on their own. And when they're creating these, you know, you as the teacher can help them. You know, they can use Google Translate, they can use all of their resources, but you can also help them. And it's a creative process that's quite emotional. So obviously we're not going to try to do that today. I wish we could, but my students that are here, we're going to do it in a different workshop. But instead, I thought we would try haiku. I'm sure that most of you know that haiku is a Japanese style of poetry. And these poems traditionally evoke images of the natural world, but we can also use them to talk about anything or anyone. And there's no language requirement, right? And what I love about these is you can mix languages in your own haikus. You know, you can use one expression in one language and then repeat the same thing in another language just to express your multilingual identity. And haikus start with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, and 5 syllables in the third line. So here's an example. Do I have anybody that wants to read this in Spanish? I think Jaden might. Jaden, would you like to? Is Jaden not there? Oh, no.
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. Pasos de niño danzando en el jardín. Grato recuerdo.
Yes. Anybody else want to translate that? Okay, so children's steps, dancing in the garden, in the yard, nice memories, right? So notice the pasos de niño, 5 syllables, danzando en el jardín, 7 syllables, grato recuerdo, 5 syllables. So that's kind of how it works. Here's another one. Ave que muere, de cenizas renace, llega el amor. So a dying bird of ashes is reborn, is born love, right? So thinking about nature, but there are also ways to mix your languages. A couple years ago, I gave this workshop in Mexico online. And so I've been to Mexico multiple times, and I work with teachers, student teachers in Mexico. You can see this picture here. They're called normalistas. They're all student teachers. That's what student teachers wear in Mexico. And then I had to give a workshop online. And so I created this poem for them. I said, En Mexico hoy, moving across languages, piccolo mundo. So the first line is in Spanish, the second line is in English, and the third line is my other language, Italian, piccolo mondo. So I kind of can show my identity by mixing my languages, and most of my students, most of the people online that were able to understand what I meant, even though I was mixing those languages. Okay, so that's kind of an example of how translanguaging, you can really encourage that in poems and encourage them to express their whole multilingual identity. So now we have, what time is it? Oh, perfect. We have just a few more minutes. So I'm going to give you about 10 minutes. I want you each to just create your own haiku. You can create it in whatever language or languages you want. And then we'll have you share it with us. We'll have you put it in chat and share it with us. And then if there's anything we don't understand, we'll have you just translate it. But the idea is to have you use your original languages. If you speak Chinese, Japanese, whatever your language is, feel free to use that, mix it with English, mix it with whatever languages you know that you haven't told us today. Some of you maybe speak or have studied some other languages. So go ahead, take 10 minutes. And I'll just mute myself. You can, just take some time. And when your haiku is ready, would you just pop it in the chat? And then I'll call on some people to share. All right, so it's 4:47. Let's see how we are at 4:55 if we're ready.
Excuse me, can I see the pattern again for the haiku? Yeah, gracias.
Question. For the second line, can I kind of like break it? Which is like it's the 7 syllables. Can I do 4, 3?
I think you can do whatever you want. I don't think anyone's going to police that. So absolutely, you can have that creativity. I mean, if someone
technically,
was
it's not
judging a haiku contest, maybe they would have a
technically it's not technically it's not going to be like a second line. It actually could be like third and fourth line.
That's okay. I love it.
So we have to use at least 2 languages.
I
Or
would
just
like you to try. I would like you to try 2 languages if you could and see how they might, flow together nicely. Just so you get an idea. But some of you might want to just try it all in your target language. That's okay too. I would just like you to see how that looks, to see how it feels to be able to use all of your languages in your classroom, in your creative space. I think we are all inspired by the weather. I see quite a few people are done. Maybe we'll just give about 3 more minutes since a bunch of people already have their poems ready. So let's say 3 more minutes, everybody. And we can start with the ones at the top and go down while people are still finishing. All right, why don't we go ahead and start? I'm just going to go down the list in chat and just have you share. And I think like Chun-Mei, we'll start with you because you have what you're going to say, but you also have the translation, so we already know the translation. Would you go ahead and read your poem?
Okay, give me a second. Sorry, my laptop just died. I have to come back.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second.
Should we go to someone else first?
No, I'm okay. Let me check my camera. So, okay, sorry, my camera I cannot increase. Okay, so you saw my okay, hold on. You saw my haiku, right?
Yeah, do you want to just read it in the original language?
Yes. Okay. So, love's warm whisper stays, 爱如春风拂面。Vicercia sweet gullet. So in the heart, light shines. So I combine with Chinese, English, and Russian.
Okay, so that's the first line. Okay, I got
Yeah.
it. And I didn't know you spoke Russian as well. That's amazing.
This is my second foreign language.
See, that's what happens when you do these kind of things. You learn, like, no one said Russian at the beginning, but all of a sudden these sneaky languages come up that people speak, and we find out that our students know things that we didn't know. So that's a great example. Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I just, yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, Jason, give us yours.
Okay, so freezing white flurries. Drinnen ist es mir wärmer. Träume vom Sommer. And that's just freezing white flurries. I'm warmer inside. Dreams of summer.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Obviously, we've got the inspiration out our window. Beautiful. Let's go to Yisun.
Oh, mine is it's a it's a change of a famous Chinese poetry just into the format of the syllables.
Cool.
Chinese poem, traditional poem is not that syllable like a haiku, but it is a syllable, correct, and also meaningful at the same time.
And what does it translate to mean?
It's translated, it's a scene. It's a scene like late fall, which is really cold. And you can see the withered wine, just withered, all the leaves are dropping, and then a crow on the tree, which is old. It's like at the end of the life.
And then it's kind of sad.
Yeah, the seventh syllable is like there is a bridge, and by the bridge there are people, there are family, there are courtyard, and then the water under the bridge just circling around, like you can picture like this scene when you have an old tree, old crow, and then there is a river, there is a small bridge, a small river winding around. And then 天涯断肠路, 天涯断肠路 is the last 5 syllable. 天涯 means the end of the sky, or the end of the life, can be, or far away. 断肠, people use metaphor talking about heartbreaking, like their intestines are broken in pieces inside. It's painful, very painful. So it's a painful road to the far away. It's not it's not a happy poem.
Not a happy poem, but
people love to have the sentimentals when.
Can you read it for us once in Chinese?
Okay, with some rhyme. Okay, 枯藤树压老，小桥流水人家绕，天涯断肠路。
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, and thank you for explaining it to us. I love it. All right, we'll go on to Jaden.
Okay, mine was early in the day. Tomo el café negro. It warms mi alma. And yeah, I was talking about coffee, and I said early in the day I drink black coffee. It warms my soul.
I love how she mixed in, in parts of the phrases as well. Very nice. Okay, Yisun, is that the same one? Twice? Maybe that's.
No, I just mentioned it's a syllable because it's
okay.
5. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, let's go to Hangjin. Is that right?
Yeah. So mine is actually quite simple. It's just like because today is a lunar, the Lantern Festival, so I kind of like write something about that. 圆圆的月亮挂在天上，照着我和我的家乡。就是 the moon is so round, so full, hanging in the sky, with shining on me and also my hometown.
That's beautiful. I love it. Okay, let's go to, I don't see that other one, so let's go to Jerry. And Jerry did you do both of your other languages, Japanese and Chinese, or just Chinese?
Yes.
And, fantastic. So you got a triple one too. That's like mine. Let's hear it.
So, Yukini stuck inside my own house 与朋友相聚.
Beautiful. Tell us what
So,
it means.
the first line, Yukini stuck means falling snow that has already fallen. And then inside my own house. And then 与朋友相聚, it's like hanging out with my friends.
Awesome. That's great. That's really cool. Yeah, and Jerry's going to be teaching 2 different languages, so he's getting endorsement in 2 different languages. That's pretty big accomplishment. Okay, Nina?
I wrote black speck in the snow, romping frolic in winter, wanna go Diao Xiong. So my dog is named, so it says last line is my dog is named Bear. And so we kind of there.
That's what you were saying. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Black speck in the snow. That's what he looks like outside right now, going in the yard, right?
He's in Colorado, but
Oh.
I will get you a picture. I'll show you guys.
Oh, yes, please show us. Okay, Crystal, you champion of world languages, you. Let's hear yours.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. So for my second line, I'm not sure it's 6 or 7. If it's 6, I would like to add with. So 挑战加挑战. What languages are facing with united we are strong? So the first one, 挑战加挑战 means challenges upon challenges.
Yeah, you got 1 extra syllable on the last one, probably. United, we are strong. That's got 6. But otherwise, world language.
Okay. I'm not very sure about how you count syllables.
I love the idea behind it. You're always a champion for us, Crystal. I love
Thank you.
it.
I'm trying.
All right. Any others that we missed? I think down here we've got I think we did Chunmei's. Did we do May?
Not yet.
Yeah, you're up.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me read first and then I give you the explanation, okay?
Beautiful.
I follow the 575 in Mandarin Chinese.
Perfect.
风雪在交加，我心却炙热如夏，领悟心之切。So this is the poem. I made it right away. Because the weather, recently we have snow and wind. So 交加 means come together, okay? Always, this is bad, so cold. However, I give the explanation, my heart. My heart is really warm feelings. It's like a summer, hot summer, okay? Very hot because we are acquainted together today. And the purpose is what? Why? What is the driven me to do that? Have this feeling is because I am a student addict to know something new for my language teaching. So it's weather and my heart and feelings and my goal. So this is my point today.
We have some poets in here today, I think. Some artistic souls. Yes, that's really great. Okay, we've got one left. Zode?
I can share with you.
Who is that?
Jing Yu.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
Jing
Jing Yu, and then we'll do Zoda's next then.
So we'll just continue talking about the Lantern Festival today in China. So this is the haiku about the sweet dumplings. So I'm gonna read in Chinese and then in English. So 我爱吃汤圆，芝麻红豆花生馅儿，团团圆圆过大年。That's it. Okay, so which means okay, but I'm like 577 because I use the five like syllabus and seven and then seven because I think it makes more sense, more
That's
like
okay.
easier. So which means I love eating sweet dumplings, the sesame, the red bean, and the peanut paste, and to celebrate the Lantern Festival together.
You're making
So
me very hungry. Yes.
so
That is
团团圆圆 in Chinese means togetherness. So to celebrate the Lantern Festival together,
nice. That's
like
great.
with our family members together. Yeah,
How
thank you.
convenient that the Lantern Festival was today, that we inspired all these poems. Okay.
Because I just love eating all the delicious Chinese food. And in Chinese festivals, like we always make foods to celebrate the festival, like the mooncake festival. We make mooncakes and then dumplings on the New Year Eve, and then today's lantern. So
I'm a
we make
huge
the
mooncake fan right here.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Soda, you want to read yours?
Yeah, so I combined three languages. It's the first is Arabic, Sabah al Khair, all, but all is English. So good morning. Golha miraksan dar bad, which is Persian. Golha means flowers, miraksan dancing, dar bad in wind, and welcome to my world. So I will teach Persian and English, both of them in the future.
That's so cool. Can you read it one time without the translation? Just read it. Just
Yeah.
read the poem. Yeah.
Okay. صباح الخير all گلها میرقصن در باد. Welcome to my world.
Welcome to your multilingual world of 3 languages. Yes. Beautiful. All right. I hope we got everybody. Just going to take
I didn't say.
Oh, you didn't, Liping? I'm so sorry.
You
I
know
didn't
what?
see
I
you in
really
the chat.
enjoy the poems, just chanted by other teachers, but mine is just like it's like a rhyme. Actually, I use that in my class today. So this for level 1 students, and then they learn to distinguish, come and go in Chinese. So I put this like 来去常牵手。来是 come 和去是 go，好记又上口。So what I say is that come and go, they often go hand in hand, right? You come and they go, and so 来 come means 来 means come, is come, and then 去 right is go, right? So the English is there, and then I say 好记又上口 means easy to remember and to say.
That's very clever. Very clever. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And anyone else we've missed? Okay. Well, I just want to take a second and see if you can put in chat, how did you feel when you were able to put your languages in the poem and share those languages with us? So let's do just that one question right now. How did you feel when you were able to put all of your languages in the poem? Instead of me just saying, I want you to do the poem in English, or I want you to do the poem only in Chinese, for example. You had the freedom to put the languages that you wanted. How did that make you feel? Yeah, so inspiring, interesting. Maybe you were interested because you were feeling like your whole self was valued, right? Because we know who you are in all of your languages, we recognize that, right? Fun to try to match syllables and ideas over multiple languages. Yes, it's challenging too, isn't it? It is. Yeah, I love that. I had more resources to write the haiku. Yeah, that's right, Jaden. Excellent point is that's the whole point of translanguaging. You nailed it. It's that, you can draw on all the resources in your brain, not just the one language, but all of the things that are up there. Some of us that we deal with multiple languages all the time, they don't get utilized in our schooling. But instead, this is asking us to utilize all of that. Zora says challenging in the time, yeah, but happy after do it. Yeah, I mean, when you do art, it's scary to share those things with everybody. But usually we feel good afterwards, right? Yeah, so I'm pleased to see a lot of you thought it was quite challenging. But also, it is hard to find the time. You want to give people enough time, and that's always a challenge I find, is finding the time. Yeah, and Jerry says it expanded my ability to create a new work. Beautiful. Yeah. It felt validating. I could express myself in multiple ways. Students may use ChatGPT, and that's okay too. If you want to give them that freedom to do that too, write a poem in all of my languages and see how they do, and the students correct it. Or you could just say, it's up to you as a teacher if you want, how much you want them to rely on the technology for these things too. Personally, I think it'd be nice to try to get them to use it on their own. But sometimes with creativity, they need words, and they may not have them in all of their, languages that they're learning. So they may need to use something. Really great answers. Okay, now I want you to just think a second about how you might imagine this like haiku or any other kind of poem or slam poetry. How might you incorporate that into your regular teaching? Like, what would that be part of? How can you see that as part of your regular curriculum? Obviously, this is not something we would do every day, but it's something we could do once a semester. Any ideas anybody has?
Well, for Chinese, actually, we have something similar called 绝句. So if we want to teach some the Asian poetry to our students, definitely that could be the way to introduce to them. Also,
That's a
like
great idea.
for the Spring Festival, we also have a couplets, which is that's also kind of like a game of language. It's just two sentences need to be matched with each other, the syllables and also the meaning need to be matched. So those could be something like when it's maybe have a break or it's getting end of the semester. It's a time to let them feel, okay, this is actually interesting. We can play with it. Something like those.
Great. And I'm glad you mentioned the juju, it's called in Chinese, because
Yeah. 绝句.
yeah, thank you.
Usually with 4 sentences, it could be 7 or 5 syllables for each.
Okay,
Each
so that is quite similar. Yeah, that's fantastic. So it would be more of a culturally relevant one for Chinese classes for sure.
Yeah.
And Crystal says you can have it as an option for students to demonstrate their learning. That's absolutely right. And like the language fair, extra activities like that as well. But also, I would encourage you to incorporate it into, let's say you're reading a really interesting story together, or you watched a film together. They could write the poem about the film, or about the book, or about their favorite character from a book, or, so whatever you're already doing that has meaning in your class, like let's say you were studying the Lantern Festival. This was a perfect activity that some of you did. Okay, we're studying the Lantern Festival, we're eating these dumplings, let's write about it, right? And poems are short and sweet, it's something that's achievable within a class time period. And Jason says you could do shorter rhymes as warm-ups. Yeah, great ideas, everybody. I really appreciate that. All right. Is there anything else as we end the workshop today that anybody wants to share, like some fantastic idea you have about using the arts that you want to share with the rest of the group?
If culinary arts can be considered art.
Oh, absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cooking
so cooking, learning how to cook something.
topic, the cooking topic can be a good one.
I'm just even thinking about mooncakes. Like mooncakes are a work of art. I mean, they are extravagantly beautiful.
Yeah, like a culture related food. So.
Yeah, and I know I was in a Chinese class last year, and the teacher had all of the mooncake molds. She had enough for all of her students, and they made mooncakes out of Play-Doh. It was really beautiful. Yeah, that's a great idea, thinking about cooking. I also do things with dance, where I have them act out stories that they read in the target language, right? Painting, where they recreate the story, the salient elements of the story in painting. I think all of us probably use music where we have students learn a song, and then we sometimes leave some blanks and they have to fill in the words that they're missing. That's a great listening activity for them. And then we did drama tonight as well. But yeah, there's endless possibilities with the arts. So keep thinking about that. And I just put my book up there. I have a lot of ideas in this little old book of how you can use the arts just to teach languages in really simple ways. All right, so we've come to the end of the presentation. I hope that you all have learned some reasons why the arts are beneficial in world language contexts, and that you have some ideas for how to incorporate into your classroom in order to create spaces for identity affirmation and building, translanguaging for helping students to use those creative spaces to feel valued with all the languages they know, and discussion of issues that students can relate to in their lives, things that are happening around them, things that they're studying in class. Those are things that they can put into their art and use this to practice their languages in a comfortable, low stakes environment. So thank you all so much. Gracias, Chichi, to everybody out there. Arigato.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
could you please
questions?
show the slide of your book?
Oh, sure. Yeah, any questions or comments?
Oh, we do have a teacher asked about whether you would share your slides.
Absolutely. I could just right now put the link in chat, and you're welcome to use my slides. Let me
It's beautiful.
let me get you copy the link. All right. See if I can manage this. All right. There you go. The only thing is you have to be able to access it, you might need to have a Canvas account. I see some of you already are clicking on, so that means most of you probably already know Canva. But if you don't, you can just sign up for Canva. I have an educational account with Canva that's free. But hopefully it works. Thank you all. Thank you everybody so much. I will
Thank you.
stop sharing and